tonight from American Legion Field in Fort Morgan. The Arvada Bulldogs have traveled out here to Fort Morgan to take on the 2-0 Fort Morgan Mustangs. Good night, hello everybody, and welcome to our broadcast tonight. Kevin Rohde and Brian Nickel here at Legion Field. Julie Garcia back at the studio is running the boards for us tonight. And Kevin, this Fort Morgan team this year has not really been tested so far, and I don't believe that will probably be the case tonight, although this Arvada team seems to throw the ball a lot more than the previous two teams have.
Absolutely. Arvada, comes in 1-2 with a victory over Sheridan. It's the same Sheridan team that put it to Skyview last week, so on the scale of things, they're at least able to win games, and so Arvada has tasted victory. But their other two losses were a 46-8 loss to Mitchell and a 53-7 shellacking up in Berthoud last week, or maybe that was in Arvada. But I think it's going to be the same thing we saw last week, a team that's going to try and pass against an overwhelming rush and decent coverage. We were looking at the rosters early before the game, and Arvada's got some really young sophomores playing that aren't very big, and so we're going to hope that no one gets hurt, and Fort Morgan is able to execute better than last week, because that's something Coach mentioned.
Yeah, it was, as Kevin said, in the pregame here with Coach Chisholm, he was happy with the result, just not happy with how they got there. Too many penalties, and we saw that too. Too many offsides on the defense, too many motion penalties on the offense, and it just kind of stifled things there for every time they would get a penalty, because they had two touchdowns taken away by penalty. So, as Coach said, they worked on that this week, and he was pleased with their effort this week in practice.
Absolutely. You have to get that intensity up, even if you're up by 40 points. You got to play with that intensity, because sooner or later you are going to come up against someone who's going to test you. And one of those teams coming down the road a little ways is Vista Peak, who played at Grand Junction last week, and I was a little surprised at the end score, but Vista Peak won 56-48. The only thing I could think of is no defense.
Yeah, apparently. Lighting up the scoreboard all night long. Well, we know at the Vista Peak, they've done that before. We've had to outscore them, but Arvada Bulldogs come out onto the field. I think maybe they've suited maybe 20 guys for this game. I don't know what they have for a roster, but not real big and not a lot of them. So this is a game that the Mustangs should be able to hopefully get the running clock by halftime. If not, it would surprise me.
Right. I would think so too. And I think the running game is going to work, and then before long we're going to be breaking out into the secondary and just outrunning their backs. And so I expect big days for our running backs, and a second half with a lot of JV players coming in. But that's why we play the game. Arvada may rise up and give us the ball game, and so we're excited for the game to get started.
So speaking of getting started, we'll give you the Fort Morgan starting lineup, defensive lineup, and that is brought to you by Cargill Beef. Cargill Beef is committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and continuously improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at www.cargill.com. So the defensive starters tonight are, as they have been through the year, nose guard is senior Alex Mai, defensive ends junior Nate Cage and senior Toby McBride, outside linebackers senior Anthony Arroyo and sophomore Trey McBride, inside linebackers senior Jacob Fritzler and senior Frank Rosales, cornerbacks junior Angelo Rivera and senior Nate Gertner, strong safety senior Tyler Dunn, and free safety senior Kyle Daniels.
I don't know who won the toss, but I'm guessing it was Arvada or Fort Morgan, and they deferred, and Arvada choosing to receive the ball. Franny's kicking to the west and north, and the wind seems to be pretty much straight out of the north, so he's going to have a little bit of wind with him. But we'll see how deep they can pin Arvada and get that defense after him.
This opening kickoff is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Looking to find insurance for your car, home, or even for you?
Gonzalez.
Call Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. They can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or provide a quote. And we are ready to go here. Franny approaches the ball and a nice deep kick, and it's going to come down at about the 5, the 10, the 15, going to cut it outside, but he is going to be brought down short of the 20. We'll see it's at the 16-yard line.
DeAndre Gordon on the return.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Sean McFarland, the ball is spotted at the...
It'll be interesting. You said that their starting running back didn't play last week, and see whether he's back in.
Yeah, I haven't. Number 24, Lechuga was the name, and I didn't see him out there warming up before, but their starting quarterback is Ian Coleman, a 6'4", 200-pound junior. In the shotgun formation, 2 receivers right and 2 left. It's going to be a handoff over the left side, and there is nothing there. We'll see if they give him a yard. We'll give him a yard out to the 17.
Look like that's Jaden Mortimer, number 45.
2nd down and 9.
Got 1 yard on the play.
The Bulldogs last week were like a negative 45 on running yardage, I believe.
They probably threw in the sacks of the quarterback on that.
So 2 receivers left, 2 right. It's going to be intercepted by Trey McBride as the flip goes out into the left flat and picked off by McBride. 6-0 Fort Morgan with 11:18 to go on defensive touchdown by Trey McBride. And it just continues as a roll that every aspect of the game for the Mustangs has been working well for them the first 2 games and comes to fruition here. Second play of the game.
Quarterback Dalen Knapp's heading out to hold the ball for Franny. I think he didn't realize he's going to be called into action quite that fast.
So Dalen to hold at the 10. Ball is down. The kick is up. And it is good. We'll have a cannon go off here, I believe, pretty quick. But that puts the Fort Morgan Mustangs up now 7-0 with 11:18 to go here in this first period of play.
There's the cannon.
That's the cannon we always love to hear. So Trey McBride with a defensive touchdown to start things off here. He tried to lay that over the top of McBride. He stands at... I don't know, he's 6'5" or 6'6", somewhere in there, and then he stretched his arms up, picked that right out of the air. And
my guess is that they probably scouted that from plays that they've ran, and because McBride really wasn't rushing the quarterback, he was kind of hanging back out on that side, and then he just timed it perfect, went up and snatched that pass, and could have walked into the end zone. Great play by the sophomore Trey McBride.
So Franny Gonzalez to tee it up once again. Trying to see who's deep for Arvada. It looks like DeAndre Gordon. And I can't see who the other player is on the far side. Franny to approach the ball. Kick downfield is going to be taken at the 8, across the 10, the 15, the 20, and he is going to be hit hard at about the 21-yard line. So 1st and 10, Arvada.
Right at the 21-yard line. The Bulldogs will have it there. First down
from the 21. So we'll see what Arvada comes out with here if they want to try to go more downfield instead of trying to go out into the flat, or at least not throw Trey's way anyway. So now we have 3 receivers split left. Shotgun formation for Coleman, 1 receiver right. With the back behind him, he looks out to his left, and throw is going to be caught out at the 25, the 30, the 35, out to the 40. Nice catch. Quick kid out there. Let's see, is that Alejandro Avita, I believe.
That's a Bulldog first down.
So 1st and 10 for Arvada as they get it out to the 44-yard line.
And he was quick. Good defensive stop by Daniels out there.
So 2 receivers right, 2 left. Handoff up the middle, and let's see if the ball was on the ground. And Fort Morgan has come up with the fumble.
Recovered by Trey McBride.
How frustrating for head coach Richard Bortner of Arvada to, come back from that interception and get a positive play for 24 yards, 23 yards up the field, and then turn around and fumble the ball.
I believe Alex Mai fell on that, I believe, is who I heard the announcer give that to. So we'll get the offense on the field now for the Mustangs, as they will take over 1st and 10 from the 41. Full house backfield. Going to be a handoff to Arroyo over the right side. And he ends up putting the ball on the ground.
Anthony Arroyo on the carry.
And did he get back on it? Apparently he did. Somebody got on it for the Mustangs anyway, but he gained. What did he get? About
33.
Down to the 33.
Second down and a yard and a half.
Second down after that run by Arroyo. He's going to have to learn how to hang on to that ball. So it's going to be 2nd and 2 from the 33. Handoff to Toby McBride over the right side as he cuts it down. He's going to stiff arm a kid at about the 15 into the end zone is Toby McBride.
That's a Mustang touchdown.
And that will put the score up now to 13-0 with 10:07 to go. Excuse me, here in this first period of play.
3 yards.
As the Mustangs are just overpowering the Bulldogs to start off this game.
When you have to put everybody up to have a chance to stop the run once you break through into the secondary, a little defensive back's not going to have much of a chance with Toby.
No, he just uses that stiff arm. Kick is up and good. So with 10:07 to go here, Mustangs 14, Arvada nothing on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs now lead 14-0. And we haven't even played 2 minutes of the ball game yet. 10:07 left to go here in the first period of play. 1 defensive touchdown, 1 offensive touchdown. High kick by Franny. It's going to come down at about the 8. Across the 15, the 20. And taken down at about the 20.
Fans kind of oohing and on because it was a little bit of a high tackle. But I think that the guy running the ball is probably only about 5'3". They really have a lot of short players on this team.
Yeah, they're not a very big football team, that's for sure. So 1st and 10 from the 20. 3 receivers. Now they're going to send 2 receivers to the left and 2 right with the back in the backfield behind Coleman. He is in the shotgun formation, sends that runner in motion. And we have a flag thrown. In motion, possibly on Arvada. Toby had a clear shot to the quarterback. He was coming in off this left end. I think the quarterback was probably glad that they threw that flag.
1st and 15.
Well, he's going to learn to throw fast or duck. He's going to get hit all night long.
It's not going to be good. So now 1st and 15 from the 15. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Coleman. Shotgun formation, looks like the same play they were going to run before. And Fort Morgan looks like they're bringing everybody, and they are. Pass down the left sideline, and that is going to be through the hands of the intended receiver. I believe that was DeAndre Gordon. So they'll bring up a 2nd and 15 after that incomplete pass.
And that pass was only about 6 inches away from being caught. It was just out of his hands, and he was deep on the Fort Morgan corner, so I'm sure defensive coach Langford is going to be getting on them and making sure that they stay deep on those guys because they are fast, and if they beat us deep, they're going to score.
So 2 receivers left, 2 right once again. Coleman in the shotgun formation. Fort Morgan looks to bring their linebackers, and they will, as he is going to be taken down by Toby McBride. And let's see where they finally put it. It's going to be about the 4, it looks like, where the ref coming from the other side.
Ball spotted at the 4.
So they were bringing everybody. Sacked by Toby, though.
Nice defensive play.
So 3rd down. After that loss of 11. So 3rd and 26 from the 4 is in the shotgun formation. Pass across the center, and that is dropped by Gordon. So that will bring up 4th down and 26.
Going to bring up 4th down
for Arvada.
26.
See who's back. Kyle Daniels back for the Mustangs.
I wouldn't be surprised if they block this punt. As porous as their offensive line is on passing plays.
Cleveland back in punt formation. Kyle Daniels back for the Mustangs.
Kyle Daniels stands at the Arvada 40. And it's a quick kick. Not a real good kick. Hits at about the 20. And Daniels picks it up, and he is running down the right sideline. That took some guts to pick that up. He hasn't called for a fair catch, but he ran clear up to almost the 25-yard line and picked that up. And finally is going to be set at the 16-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from the 16.
Kyle Daniels is, through the first 2 games, been a little bit risky in catching punts that maybe a more prudent guy would do a fair catch on. But obviously the coaches appreciate that kind of aggression at this point in the season.
So I formation for the Mustangs. It's going to be a keeper by Dalen Knaps. He rolls out to his right, throws downfield, and it's going to be over the head of Kyle Daniels at about the 5-yard line.
Knaps pass intended for Daniels.
So 2nd and 10.
2nd down and 10.
From the 16-yard line.
Pretty well defended by Arvada. I think it would have taken a pretty pinpoint pass to score on that, but a little bit of play action rollout, which we've talked about, that they have to get that in the game and get that in the back of the heads of some of the future opponents down the road.
Yeah. So I formation once again with Toby McBride and Tate Kimball in the backfield. Kimball over this left side, and he's got it wide open up the middle, and he is going to take it in from 16 yards out as he follows the block of Toby McBride. It is now 20-0 with 8:30 to go here left in this first period of play.
Tate Kimball on a nice run off the left side. He just made a nice quick cut after he saw the opening, and no one touched him, I don't think.
No, he was wide open. Once he got the corner on that left side, he was untouched. So 20-0. The ball is up and through the goalpost for the PAT. So with 8:30 to go in the first period of play, the Fort Morgan Mustangs now lead 21-0. So Kevin, we might be seeing a running clock here by the end of this first quarter if we're not careful.
If they keep up this pace, it'll come at I think 5 minutes into the 5 minutes left of the first quarter. It's unfortunate that Fort Morgan can't get more competition on their schedule. I know Brush traditionally has been a little bit more of a competition than they were this year. But for the last several years, Fort Morgan really doesn't have any competition until very late in the season. When earlier, a couple years ago, Elizabeth was that competition, and last year Lutheran. And you just would like them to tune up and have to struggle a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. So John Hoeknadel is going to kick off this time. Going to be a little shorter kick. And it's going to come down about the 15, across the 20, 25 as he spins out to the 26-yard line, 26-27.
Crosses at 25.
So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They come into this game 1 and 2, as Kevin said earlier.
Andy Bain on the tackle for the Mustangs.
First and
Arvada will have it
10
there, first down and 10.
from the 26.
This will be their 6th play from scrimmage. I think Fort Morgan's had 3, maybe 4.
So 2 receivers right, 2 left. Once again, Coleman in the shotgun formation. Snap back, he looks out to the left, and that pass is going to be by his receiver. And that
Coleman's pass intended for Tanner Vaughn.
Tanner Vaughn. And if we can go by what our
cover, second down and 10.
rosters are telling us, Tanner Vaughn is a 5'1", and it says a 69-pound sophomore.
Right. And I don't know whether 69 is possible, but he is quite small. And
so second down and 10, shotgun formation, pass out here into the flat. Spin move and taken down on the sidelines by Austin Breedenbach.
Pulled down by Austin Breedenbach.
And that was Alejandro Avicia, maybe. A-V-I-T-I-A.
he had their other catch.
That was a gain of 8, so this will bring up a third down and 2 from the 35-yard line. Shotgun formation once again as they look over the center, and it's going to be off the hand of Gordon once again. Looks like a ball that should have been caught.
Yeah, I think that the quarterback definitely has a beef with him on the sideline after this. Although with as few of them that are here, they probably all have to play defense too. The quarterback's the punter.
So Fort Morgan now with Daniels and Kimball back at the 35, their own 35.
Coleman back in punt formation.
808 to go, low snap. Poor kick off the right side, and it lands on the track here. So we'll see how far they mark that at the 47-yard line. That's a 12-yard punt for Breedenbach. So first and 10. Mustangs once again with 8:03 to go here in the first period of play. They lead 21-0. So we'll see who still keeping their starters in there for the time being anyway from the 48-yard line. I formation for the Mustangs. Have a flag before the snap.
I think that was Colton Carpenter, the left guard. Got down in his three-point stance and then got back up and went back down. And I coach a sixth grade travel team of the Fort Morgan Youth Football that plays up in Greeley, and that's one of the things that we work with those linemen all the time. You cannot put your hand down until the quarterback's set, because the first thing you're going to want to do is pick it back up.
So now first and 15, rollout by Knapp, and in and out of the hands of Toby McBride out about the 50.
Knapp's pass intended for McBride falls incomplete.
So that will bring up a second and 15 from the Mustangs 47-yard line.
And I think he seems to throw better on the road because he threw pretty well last week, and this week he's had 2 incompletions, and that one wasn't even close.
So 2 receivers right, 2 left with McBride in the backfield. Knapp under center. Knapp rolls out to his right, and wide open is Daniels out at the 50, 45. Have a flag down at the Mustang 45. Daniels is still going, and he is going to be brought down at about the 27-yard line, but this may be a holding call. It is a hold on the Mustang, so that will come back.
That's
a nice, well-conceived play. Daniels was wide open out in the right flat.
So we'll see where they mark that. That's going to be marked off from about the 44, so that'll be 10 yards back from that.
Arvada be able to provide a pretty decent rush. So yeah, that's a killer play to get the penalty 8 yards deep in your backfield, and then they take 10 more yards on that, all the way back to the 34.
Just the things that.
So it's going to be 2nd and 28.
Just the things that Coach Chisholm was talking about in the pregame. It kills in here. Going to be a screen out to the right side to Trey McBride. He gets it across the 50. He's got blocking down this left side. The 40 is going to. There's going to be a hold out here on this far side.
Trey McBride all the way down to the 15.
Trey gets it down to the 15 or down to the 15, but it's going to come back.
A hold on Adrian Marquez, and on a play where Trey wasn't going to be touched by the guy anyway. That's a penalty that the coaches are really going to be upset about. The holding, maybe, you get your arm caught up in the backfield as the guy's rushing, but to hold someone 15 yards downfield when the receiver's running wide open.
So we do have a hold, as you said, on Adrian Marquez. That will be 10 yards from the spot of the foul, which is from the Arvada 36-yard line.
So the ball be spotted.
So that will bring up a.
We'll have it there. 2nd down and 8.
2nd and 8 for the Mustangs now.
So I guess on that we'll give Trey and Dalen 20 yards on a completion.
Handoff over the right side to Tate Kimball. The 40, he cuts it back up the middle. And he is going to be brought down far enough for the first down as he gets it down inside the 30.
First down and 10.
Let's see where they put down at the 29-yard line. So 1st and 10 Mustangs from the 29-yard line off of that run by Tate Kimball.
First run, 16 yards for a touchdown. Second one, 17 yards. Puts them up even with Toby McBride, who has 33 yards. But that was on one carry and a touchdown. So, as we said, the running game is going to work well for him today.
So a fake out here to the right. Dalen Knapp gets it to Marquez. And we have a flag thrown again at the 25. Let's see what this is going to be down to, as it was.
Probably a lineman downfield. It took a long time to make that pass. But we'll see.
Illegal man downfield. So that will bring up first down once again, this time from the 35-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 1st and 15, and Coach Chisholm is going out and having a talk with his offensive bunch right now.
That's a rule that has changed over the years. Back when I played, and yes, folks, we did have helmets back then. That
leather, though, right?
Yeah. The men downfield, illegal receiver downfield, I believe, was like a 15-yard penalty, and now it's just 5. And part of that penalty was on when you punted, you could only have 4 guys go down. So the center, if he got downfield before the punt, you'd have to go back. So the rules have changed and evolved, and I think the game's a lot faster and a lot more enjoyable now. At least I think I'd really have a lot of fun getting out there and playing.
So we'll see what they're going to come up with here. But I know Coach Chisholm is not happy with the amount of penalties taking place here tonight.
Yeah, 4 penalties already, and we only have 7 offensive plays.
So 1st and 15 from the 35. High formation. Knapp on the pass once again. And he's going to pull it down and run it up the middle. And he is going to get about 5 on that run.
Knapp on the scramble.
And they will get it down 29.
It's going to be a 2nd down and 10.
Good choice there. The rush was all to the outside.
Hardenberg Colster on the tackle for Arvada.
So 2nd down for the Mustangs with 6:26 and counting here in the first period of play. The Mustangs up 21-0. Let's see what the Mustangs come up with as Marquez comes wide left, Daniels right, I formation. McBride and Kimball in the eye. It's going to be a handoff to McBride over the right side, and he just stiffs arms his way down, and if he wouldn't have lost his balance, he'd have been into the end zone. But he lost his balance and comes down at the 15.
Back at about 15. That's going to be a Mustang.
So first and 10 from the 15.
To his credit, I think the reason he lost his balance is he went to give a forearm to a defender who was coming up to tackle, and the defender backed up so far that he kind of overextended trying to hit him.
So same formation as last. First and 10 from the 15. Going to be a handoff up the middle to McBride, and he's dragging about the whole team down, and we'll see if he gets enough for the first down. He does not. It's going to be just short of the first down at about the 6. So that should be a second down. Haven't moved the mark yet. Second and 1 from the 6-yard line after McBride got that handoff and had about 7 Bulldogs on him all the way down. So McBride had to come out. He had a helmet problem. High formation once again. Knapp with the pass into the end zone, and that is good to Trey McBride. With 5:07 to go, the Mustangs are now up 27-0 with the PAT coming up. So Knapp found McBride open on that right side.
Just like that, Knapp is 2 for 4 for 26 yards and a touchdown.
Franny in once again for the point after, and it is up and good. So with 5:07 to go, the Mustangs now lead 28-0 on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan, the Mustangs now lead 28-0 after the 6-yard pass from Knapp to Trey McBride. John Hochnaudel in once again for the kickoff. A little bit deeper kickoff. This time it's going to be taken at the 10, 15 the 20, and taken down at the 25. And that looked like that was Jimmy Keller on the tackle.
Jimmy Keller.
Kind of grabbed him around the shoulder pads and just kind of pulled him down to the ground.
Yeah, with that short of a carrier, I don't know what else to do, but I think eventually we're going to get some penalty, because if we're up around the headgear, sooner or later we're going to get a hand in the face mask or get a horse collar or something.
Yeah, I didn't see who that was that brought that back. Excuse me. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Coleman with a pass out into the left flat, and that is picked up by DeAndre Gordon.
Rank results on the tackle, pickup of 3, second down and 7.
So a gain of 3.
Nice little pitch and catch there.
So second and 7 from the 28. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Snap back, and the ball, we're going to see if that is a live ball. They're going to say, no, that was an incomplete pass.
Pass intended for Nelson, ball incomplete.
And that one was in danger of blowing up on him. So as he was catching it, a defender was on him, and he might not have been able to hold on anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he was wanting to hold on. He really wasn't looking for it when it finally came to him. So that'll bring up a 3rd down after that incomplete pass.
Coleman 3 for 9 passing with 1 sack and 1 interception. Total of 35 yards so far tonight.
Shotgun formation once again. Toby's out as a linebacker, I guess, out on this left side of the defense. And then he comes in, and he is going to rush. It's going to be a pass out into the flat, and that is going to go harmlessly to the ground at about the 25.
Pass intended for a video falls incomplete.
Fort Morgan brings the rush, and he has to hurry it. And he threw it kind of in between a couple of players. There's one about the 20 and one about the 30.
4th down and 7.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, I was just saying that Arvada brought about 20 kids, and there's about 35 fans in the bleachers with them.
So Daniels and Kimball back at their own 40. As they await the low snap. Not a real good kick, farther than it was last time. It hits at the 50 and rolls down into Morgan territory. At about the 42.
At the 42, the Mustangs will have it there. First down and 10.
So first and 10. Fort Morgan from their own 42.
I wonder if we'll keep trying to develop the passing game or whether we'll see a little bit more of the power running. Obviously, we could score if we ran, so might as well try and pass a little bit.
So now split backs in the backfield, wingmen basically is what it is. Tate Kimball now goes in motion left, right, handoff up the middle to Frank Rosales. And he'll get a couple. They'll bring up a second from the 44.
Second down and 8.
His first carry of the night. He's been seeing the ball a little bit more, trying to pick up what sort of defense. And it almost looks like a 5-3 with an extra, maybe the cornerback when there's no one outside lines up. They got 5 and 3.
So split wing once again. Tate Kimball is going to be pitched back to Tate as he takes it around that right side. He gets a nice block out on that corner. And I believe he's going to be
Kimball on the sweep.
Maybe just short of that first down on that.
Stop just across the 50.
Run to the right side.
It's going to bring up third and about a yard.
So 3rd and 1 from the 49. Had a nice block out there by Trey. Marquez comes wide left. Trey McBride wide right. Split backfield once again. Kimball in motion. It's going to be a handoff this time to Kyle Daniels. He breaks the tackle. He's down to the 45, down to the 40. And he is going to come down
Daniels on the inside handoff
at about the 37-yard line.
And that's a play that just didn't look like it was going to work the way it took so long to develop, but quite a bit of action going to the right and then kind of a counter hand back to Daniels pulling along, and ended up working out quite well for him.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. I think Daniels is set up as that wingman to the right as he is once again. Tate Kimball sets up as the wing to the left with Rosales in the backfield. Kimball in motion once again. It's going to be a fake pitch, and it's going to be to Trey McBride as he pulls it in at the 20. That was a beautiful pass by Knapp as McBride comes down with it at the 15.
Nelson on the cover.
So 1st and 10 Mustangs.
That was beautiful play action. Boy, you have to respect the run on Fort Morgan, and then how you like a 6'5" kid coming across the middle on like a 5'6" safety.
So Trey comes in from that right receiver position where he's lined up once again. Kimball in motion once again. It's going to be a keeper to Knapp as he gets it down inside the 10.
Knapp on the keeper fights his way.
It's going to be a gain of about 6 as he gets it down to the 9.
Mortimer on the tackle.
So 2nd
That's
and
a gain of
4
5. Second down and 5.
on that run by Dalen Knapp. He fakes that pitch and turns it right up the middle.
His second carry for a total of 11 yards on the night.
So Knapp under center once again. Rosales directly behind him with Daniels wing right and Kimball wing left. And this time it's a handoff to Kimball around that right side. And he gets that block by Nate Cage. And Kimball into the end zone on that right side for the touchdown. Now 34-0 with 1:49 to go left in this first period of play. So not a very competitive game here at Legion Field tonight.
Fort Morgan really exercising their playbook and running a lot of plays that we haven't necessarily seen, and that's good because the more plays they throw up there, the harder it's going to be to scout and play against them.
Mustangs come up with as Marquez comes wide left, Daniels right, I formation. McBride and Kimball in the eye. It's going to be a handoff to McBride over the right side, and he just stiffs arms his way down, and if he wouldn't have lost his balance, he'd have been into the end zone. Alejandro back here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan. John Hochnaudel once again with the ball on the tee. Nice kick by Hochnaudel. He digs it down to the 15, now out to the 20, the 25. Gordon finally comes down at the 35-yard line, but there's a flag laying about the 29. So we'll see what that's about.
Generally, you don't see too many defensive penalties on kicks, so I'm guessing it's going to be bringing the ball back.
So we'll see what they're discussing over there on the far sideline as the ball rests at the 35. As the ref comes walking across the. We have holding on Arvada, and that sets it about the 29. So it will be marked off from the 29. Should be about the 19-yard line. Should be the starting position.
And then there was a personal foul on Fort Morgan, so they're going to bring it back.
Okay.
This way.
I did not see that.
Yeah, just at the last minute, maybe it was a hit out of bounds or something, but they're going to bring it back 15 yards the other way.
Okay. Now we'll see where they. And it's going to be just about where he went down at. Be first and 10 from the 34.
And I don't know whether Frank Rosales had anything to do with that personal foul, but looked like he was asking the head official some questions about it. So
Eye for a pass down the right sideline, and that is going to be tipped away. Nice job by Arroyo and Rivera, and Daniels also back there. Coleman was in the shotgun formation.
And I think Daniels is saying to the coaches, why didn't we do it like tip drill? 'Cause there were two defenders there, and he was about 3 yards back, and if they would have just tipped it up instead of knocking it down, he would have had the interception.
Maybe next time, Kyle. So 3 receivers right, 1 left. Shotgun formation once again. Snap back as Coleman goes up the middle, and he is going to be brought down for a sack at about the 32. That's going to be about a 2-yard loss.
Pulled down by Alex Mai.
So 3rd and 12 from the 32 after Alex Mai brings Coleman down for the sack.
And he just did not act like he was ever going to throw that, so I think that was a designed draw. But he's not a very graceful-looking runner. I think he does a much better job of passing in the backfield.
He's one of their bigger guys. He is 6'4", 200 pounds. So 3 receivers right, 1 left. Shotgun once again. He throws out here. Gordon takes it in about the 37. Oh, he fumbles the ball, and it looks like Fort Morgan has fallen on it.
Pass is complete to DeAndre Gordon.
And
ball's on the ground.
Trying to see who.
There was a flag also.
Oh, must be a flag on the play. It's going to be against Arvada, apparently. They're going to wave it off.
No flag. Tyler Dunn on the recovery for the
Tyler Dunn on the recovery for the Mustangs as they will take over at the Arvada 40 with 51.7 seconds to go here in this first period of play. It's been a long first period.
That it has. But I think the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th will be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, especially if we can take this down the field and get that clock running. So 1st and 10, Fort Morgan. High backfield once again for the Mustangs. Marquez left, Daniel split wide right. Long count. It's going to be a handoff to Tate Kimball. He breaks it across the 40, the 35, the 30, 25, 20, and he is not going to be touched. 10, 5, touchdown, Tate Kimball. 42-0 with 42.9 seconds to go. 41, excuse me. Will be 42 after Franny gets the extra point, and they should keep that clock running. I don't know why it's not. Should be on the move. So one play, Tate Kimball takes it in from 40 yards out. Franny Gonzalez in now for the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good once again, so that makes the score now 42-0 after Tate Kimball takes it in from 40 yards out. So we'll keep it here as the clock runs. So we did get the running clock by the end of the first quarter.
Very nice offensive show of quickness and power, and Arvada just outmanned pretty much across the board. Their quarterback, very good thrower, and they've had some opportunities to get something going on offense, but he hasn't had a lot of cooperation from his teammates, several drops, and then that one he has a nice gain, and the kid fumbles it. Or you could say Fort Morgan caused the fumble. It was a big hit. Either way, Arvada definitely hurting themselves against a foe that they really can't afford to.
So that's the end of the first quarter. So at the end of one, the Fort Morgan Mustangs over the Arvada Bulldogs, 42-0 on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field, John Hochmodel with the kickoff as it looks like it may go out. No, it does not go out of bounds. And it looks like Fort Morgan has fallen on the ball at the far side as Arvada did not cover. They acted like it was like a punt, but it was fallen on the far side.
On the ball for the Mustangs.
I'm not sure who got on that, but it will be first and 10.
Yeah, and even the Fort Morgan defenders came down there and kind of stood and looked at it for a little bit, and like the third guy down finally jumped on it. So it's just so unusual of a play.
So we'll see Fort Morgan. Trey Kimball comes out. Let's see who's going to be out now. Who do we have in it? Dalen Knapp still in at quarterback. Kyle Bulis, wide receiver to the right. It looks like we're missing somebody.
And that would be Cade. Kyle's the athletic director.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
He might be able to do it. But, Austin Breedenbach late getting in. Going to be a keeper by Knapp. He is being caught from behind, but he's going to break it across the left side. He's going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. From 29 yards out.
And that is another look that we've not seen. That was the option. Now, if you can get Knapp to run the ball like that, what are they going to do when you can take the quarterback and let him pitch to Tate Kimball?
Yeah.
It's a clinic on about 13 different styles of offensive football tonight. What fun.
So Franny once again keeping his leg warmed up here.
Franny to attempt the point. Down the hole.
Going to try the kick, and the kick is up and good. So with 10 minutes and counting here in the first period of play, the Mustangs now lead 49-0. So
Arvada's thinking maybe they could speed up that running clock a little bit. That is going to be a long bus ride home for them, although I imagine that last couple seasons their seniors have gotten used to that. But you got to give them credit. They're still out there trying to improve, practicing every week, and coming up, showing up and trying to play. They haven't quit out there at all.
So John Hochmodel once again lines up from the 40. DeAndre Gordon and Alejandro Avicia back at about the 9. Hochmodel again wants the nice kickoff. It comes down about the 14. Gordon has it out across the 20, the 25, and he is going to go out of bounds on the far side. Let's see where they're going to mark him out at. Looks like they have it set at the 25.
The 27-yard line.
So Hoganadel kicking it deep as well, and probably giving Franny a little bit of a break on a cool night like this. As it first starts to cool down, you don't want to pull a hamstring on your kicker or something. But what a beautiful night for football. There's a little bit of a breeze, but the temperature's probably right around 60 degrees and crisp, almost fall evening. What do we got? Another couple days before fall officially gets here?
Somewhere in there, about the 23rd, I believe that it is this year. So late summer night here in Fort Morgan. With the Mustangs up 9-9. Handoff over the left side, and that's going to be a gain of maybe about 1. Let's see what that will be a gain of 1. So 2nd and 9 from the 26.
3 on the tackle. 2nd down and 8.
And that's only the third running play of the game. The last one was a quarterback sneak that lost 2. So they're dead even. 3 runs for no yards on net. An 11-yard sack.
So in motion right to left, going to be a pass over the middle and behind DeAndre Gordon. He was coming from left to right across the middle, but behind him was the pass.
Back on the cover.
3rd and 9.
3rd and 8.
And that was definitely on Coleman there. The pass was clearly behind the receiver. He tried to adjust to it, but it's too far behind.
So it looks like we have some new defensive people in there. I see Trevor Forbes out there. Arvada's going to take a timeout, so we'll take one with him with 7:02 to go here in the second period of play with Fort Morgan up 49-0 on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel with Kevin Rohde here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan. Julie Garcia back at the station for us tonight.
Got a early score, second quarter, Brush ahead 15-14 at Glenwood Springs. Big long bus trip for them.
So 3 receivers left going in motion, and then Coleman comes down with it. It's going to be a screen over on the left side. But that screen is busted up over there, and that looked like that was Gerardo Miranda with the stop. So 4th down for Arvada as Kyle Daniels sits back about the 48-yard line. And Tate Kimball now joins him back there about the 45 of Fort Morgan.
Coleman really hasn't gotten off a decent punt all night.
He's being rushed and
Kimball and Daniels back for the Mustangs.
Gets it off. Low line drive taken by Daniels at the 50, 45. Hasn't gone down yet. He was still in the grasp. Now about
Daniels on the return.
Bulldogs finally bring him down. Kyle Daniels wasn't going down easy. It will be 1st and 10 for the Fort Morgan Mustangs from the Arvada 45.
Well, Kyle sees all those other friends of his scoring touchdowns, and he wants a little piece of that pay dirt too.
5:30 and counting here as we do have the running clock here. Looks like Trey McBride will be the quarterback on this possession. See who else there is. We have too many men on the field for Fort Morgan. We have people running everywhere. So it was a dead ball.
Looks like maybe we're going with the Wildcat with Trey at quarterback. Maybe you said that and I just missed it.
Trey was a quarterback, yes. I think Fort Morgan's got a player in there, and I do not know who it is. 77. I do not know who that is. So Trey at quarterback in the shotgun position. Tate Kim, snap way over his head, clear back at the 30, and it's going to be picked up by Trey, and makes a He throws an incomplete pass. They throw a flag back at the 20.
I'm guessing it's going to be grounding because there was absolutely no receiver over there, but it was a wise attempt by him.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You got flag.
Intentional grounding on Trey.
Huh.
I'm not sure who the...
At least the penalty's just right where the ball was thrown. Nope, they're going to march it back even farther. Make a bad situation worse. 5 more yards onto that.
So that will take it clear back to the 15. That is a loss of down.
So I'm going to have to take off my shoes to calculate this. Was that first and how many? 50 they're calling
30,
it? 40,
50? 50? Second and 50 from the 15. So Trey's going to be up under center this time. Receivers left and right. I formation is going to be, ball is going to go on the ground, and Arvada is going to fall on it at the 14-yard line.
Ball's on the ground.
So Trey McBride
Marcel Selby for the Bulldogs. Ball's on it. And they'll have
on
it
the
there.
handoff with the fumble. So Arvada sets up here in great field position with 3 minutes to go.
So we make a bad situation worse by turning over the ball after that huge loss of 40 yards.
So first and 10 from the 15. Arvada in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Coleman looks down. It's going to be a fade pass over in the right corner, and that is in and out of the hands of DeAndre Gordon. Looked like that should have been brought in.
I'm really starting to feel sorry for Coleman because that's the second time I believe it's the same receiver has tried to catch it one-handed when really it's clearly close enough that he could catch it with both. And maybe putting the best construction on things, maybe his right arm's broken and he's trying to catch it left-handed. But I would think that he would be coached to catch with both hands when it's available to him.
So shotgun formation once again for the Bulldogs. 2:05 to go here in the first half of play. And I believe Arvada, their left guard, jumped.
And the good news for the Mustangs defense trying to maintain that shutout is if there's a penalty or an incomplete pass, that clock just keeps on running.
So second and 15 from the 20. Down to 1:35 and rolling here. First half of play. Coleman comes into the huddle after he gets the play from his coach. Shotgun formation. Trips right. Single receiver left. Snap back as he rolls out to his right, being hounded, and the ball is going to be thrown, and I say it's a complete pass. That was completed down to about the 17.
Going to bring up 3rd and 13.
So they're giving them 2 on that.
Third down. 44 seconds to go. So third down from the 17. Shotgun formation once again. Trips left this time as Coleman looks to break it up the middle, and he is going to be, throws it as he's going down, and he is going to get the pass off, and it is going to be complete into the end zone for the touchdown for Arvada.
There had to be some blockers downfield on that play, I would think, but they didn't catch it, so
touchdown for Arvada. From
who did that go to?
Number 20, I believe. I believe that was
Avisha.
Alejandro Avisha.
He's catching a lot of passes. So.
49-6 as the clock runs out, but they will get to kick the extra point. That was kind of a Keystone Cop type of play there.
It was. It sure looked like a run, and then all of a sudden at the last minute he threw that ball. he wasn't through the line, so I'm thinking all his linemen had to still be ahead of him downfield.
So the PAT is good. So at the end of the first half, the Mustangs are up 49-7. We will be back with the halftime show after this 3-minute break on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field with Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel. Got about a minute and a half before the second half takes off. Kevin, have you got the schedule for the rest of this league tonight?
I do.
And we also had an updated score, I think, on the Brush.
Yeah, they were up 22-15 maybe at half. Oh, I thought I had it. There we go. Yeah, the teams that Fort Morgan play this year, Brush is playing at Glenwood Springs, up 22-15. Niwot is playing George Washington. Arvada is here. Skyview is playing Adams City, a 1-1 team. Weld Central is playing Evergreen, also a 1-1 team. Lutheran goes to Platte Valley, and I think it's at Platte Valley tonight, and that'll be another test for Lutheran and an ability for us to see how they're playing. Vista Peak is playing Meade, who's 2-0, and probably won't have. Well, maybe that'll be a good game too. Lincoln is playing Inglewood. Conifer against Elizabeth. That'll also be a good test for Elizabeth. Berthoud playing Fort Lupton, and Berthoud's playing some solid football, so Fort Lupton might be in for it tonight. And then Wiggins is playing Crowley County, I believe, there. And they're 2-0, and they're ranked team, so some good football going on around the state.
The conference standings right now, Fort Morgan is 2-0. Lutheran and Elizabeth each at 1-1, as is Vista Peak. Skyview, Fort Lupton, Englewood, and Weld Central all sit at 0-2. So, they put 3 more minutes back up on the clock, as required by Chassa, I believe. So,
The Mustangs will receive the second half.
Fort Morgan will receive. Kyle Daniels and Tate Kimball back about their 10.
Just some quick scores. Conifer is beating Elizabeth 28-14. No score on the Lutheran Platte Valley game yet.
Let's see if we can catch some names out here for Fort Morgan. Looks like Ryan Eagleston, sophomore, is out on the kick return. As is Cade Bulis.
Yes, we do have a score. Platte Valley 12, Lutheran 0 at half. So Lutheran might be 1-2 at this point of the season.
So kickoff by Arvada. Nice kick by Coleman. Kimball takes it at the 20. 25-30, breaks it outside the 40. 45-50 is still in bounds, but they're going to call him out at the 50. That was a late whistle.
Steps out of bounds.
He gets it back to the 50.
He's a shifty runner for sure in the open field, and he has that acceleration. I don't know if very many of the fans out there in Radio Land have gone to a basketball game in the last couple of years, but it's just so much fun to watch Tate play basketball because he brings the ball down and just does kind of a stutter step, and the next thing you know, he's laying up the ball, and the defense is wondering how he made that penetration. He just has a great burst.
Quick step. Joan Hochnaudel in the game as the fullback, trying to catch the deep back, and that is Trevor Forbes as he breaks it up the middle, and he spins out of the tackle at the 35 and finally brought down inside the 30. So nice run by Trevor Forbes.
Put down by Coleman.
Looks like that was about a 21-yard run. Looks like they're going to put it at
Spotted at the 29. That's a Mustang first down.
22-yard run for 4. They're going to put it right at the 30.
So we'll give him 21 on that.
21 on the run there. In at quarterback is Isaac Linker. Sean McFarland split left, handoff again to Forbes as he takes it over that right side, gets it down to the 25-yard line.
Carry.
Gain of 5.
Inside the 30 to the 25.
So 2nd and 5 from the 25. And
Second
this
down and 5.
second string is getting some play in. The Arvada Bulldogs have a player down at about the 28-yard line. And this will cause the clock to stop. Give you some sponsors here. You hear these sponsors on the radio. If you stop into these businesses, give them a thank you for supporting high school athletics. Better Electric, better quality, better service, better results. It's Better Electric and also the home of Sterling Trailers, your Big Tex headquarters. High Plains Bank. High Plains Bank offers a wide variety of products that can be customized to fit your individual needs. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank in Wiggins.
Jaden Mortimer, the hurt Bulldog for Arvada, that's their starting running back for tonight. So that may affect their offense later on. He can't return.
2nd and 5.
Pick up some of these other players that have come in for Fort Morgan. Handoff over the left side. And they're calling it a first down according to this ref from this side. And they will give Fort Morgan the first down. I believe that was Forbes with that first down. So 1st and 10
That's going to be Mustang. First down.
from the 20. Yeah, we'll see who's in there. Hoeknadel is the fullback. Anthony Arroyo as the tailback. And Knapp does not get the snap from center and falls on the ball at the
2nd down and 10.
20. We'll just call it 2nd and 10.
Isaac Linker in at quarterback now.
See if I can catch who that is. 67 looks like Ryan Eagleston maybe is the center.
Dawson Frick spread wide
Sure,
right.
can't tell for sure. Hand off to Arroyo over that right side. He's going to get it down inside the 20, down to about the 16-yard line, be a gain of 4.
It's going to be 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6 from the 16. High formation once again for the Mustangs. Receiver split left and right. Handoff up the middle. And the ball is loose. I believe that was
Ball's loose.
John Hoeknadel. The ball was loose, and Arvada says that they have recovered. And they have.
Bulldogs recover.
So a fumble by Hoeknadel as he had taken it down to about the 7 and ball knocked loose. Recovered by Arvada.
Unfortunate on his first carry to have that fumble.
Ball spot on the 5.
So at the 5, 1st and 10.
Arvada will have it there. First down and 10.
7:45 and counting here in the 3rd period of play. Mustangs lead 49-7. As Dawson Frick is out at the left defensive end. Sean McFarland in for the Mustangs. Snap back shotgun as the pass out here to the left side. That is going to be caught by Alejandro Avicia at about the 14-yard line.
Stacked up by Jimmy Keller.
So it looks like that will bring up about a 2nd and... Yeah, they're going to mark it.
2nd down and 2.
2nd down and 2 from the 14. Shotgun formation again for Arvada. Man in motion left to right as the quarterback fumbles the ball. And I believe Arvada got back on it, but Coleman was flushed out to the right. And it looks like Todd Nelson falls on it for Arvada. So that brings up a third down. Lost a yard on that. It's going to be third down from the 13. Shotgun formation once again for Arvada. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Snap back, and he's flushed out to his left. He's going to try to run it. He'll get the first down. He goes up that right sideline. He finally is pushed out of bounds on the far sideline. About the 25.
That's a first down.
Well, once he gets those long legs running, he does have a little bit of speed. He's just not real nifty when he gets started.
We're going to call it the 26. First and 10 from the 26 for the Bulldogs. Shotgun formation once again. 2 receivers left and right. Snap back as he looks out to his right. The pass is going to be well over the head of the intended receiver, DeAndre Gordon.
Coleman's pass intended for Gordon falls incomplete.
So second and 10 for the Bulldogs after that incomplete pass.
Second down and 10.
And you wonder when you look at stats and see a team like this that might have, quite a bit of yards passing, and you think maybe they're playing against JV kids second half most of the season.
Shotgun formation once again. Going to be a handoff up the middle, and he drags Jimmy Keller for about 2 yards.
Tripped up by Keller.
And that will bring up a third. Let's see what they give him. They give him shoot out to the 28. So it's 3rd and 8 from the 28.
That's Mortimer, the young man that was hurt on the defense a couple plays ago. So it's good to see him back out there and able to run.
Shotgun formation. Fort Morgan just jumped off sides on the far side. I believe that was Cade Bulis.
Interesting call by the near linesman, because the far linesman was right there, and it was the guy on his side of the line that jumped. But
we have Fernando Ortega coming into the game, and Cade Bulis will come out.
So it brings up 3rd and 3.
So 3rd and 3. From the 35. Pass out here into the flat. And there will be no gain as Dawson Frick in the open field takes down Todd Nelson.
Nelson quick on the tackle.
So brings up 4th and 3 from the 25. 35, excuse me. They gave him the first down. Okay.
all right, so that was a gain of 3 on that. I knew it was a little closer maybe than we thought, because it's way across the field, but
So 1st and 10 from the
First down.
36.
36. As we were down to 2.5 minutes to go here in this third period of play as the clock runs. Shotgun formation. Oh, the right guard jumped for Arvada. Josh Mays.
He's a 5'7", 170-pound offensive lineman, and you're wondering whether, as a sophomore, he really enjoys being out there against some of Fort Morgan's bigger players. But he might have been a second-string player in, too, as well. They might be subbing and trying to get their younger players some experience.
So Daniel Luna also in there on the defensive line for the Mustangs. Oh, DeAndre Gordon is trying to get a head start on everybody from that slot position on the left side. So that will be another 5 yards. So first and 20 from the 26.
And the clock runs.
Pass deep down that left sideline, and that is going to be intercepted by Kyle Daniels at the 50, or down about the 45, and he takes it down across into Bulldog territory to about the 41. His receiver was well well covered.
All the way back to the 42. The Mustangs will have
As
it
Kyle
for
Daniels ended up with the ball,
37.
but there was about 3 other receivers right there with him. So first down, Morgan
Quarterback is Isaac
from the
Licker.
42. With 1:07 left here in the third period of play. I formation for the Mustangs. Hognadel, and this time they hand it off to Sterling Sharp into the game
Sterling Sharp on
at the
carry.
tailback.
Right inside the 42, about the 37.
He's about the right age
Second
to
and
be named
6.
after Sterling Sharp.
Yeah.
Nice carry there
So he takes it down to
by
the
the sophomore.
37. About a 2nd and 5. On that run by Sharp as we're down to 25 seconds. Handoff again, once again to Sharper on this left side. He cuts it back inside. Tripped up but keeps his feet as he gets it down inside the 25.
Sharp over the left side.
And that will bring up about a 3rd and 3. As this will
Up at the 34, 3rd and 2.
bring this third period to an end with the Mustangs up 49-7 on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field with Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel as the Fort Morgan Mustangs did not score in that third period of play, nor did the Arvada Bulldogs, so we're still sitting at 49-7.
Wiggins down 20-6 at Crowley County, and Sterling up 28-0 over Ray. A couple other scores for you.
Thank you, sir.
Let's hear it for the Mustangs for advance.
So it'll bring up a 3rd and 3 from the 34 as the Mustangs now go northwest to southeast on the field. And jumped in the backfield was Angelo Abrego.
I think there's only one official that kept his flag in his pocket as 4 were
3rd
thrown.
and 8.
So that'll bring up
Let's also hear it for those Mustang cheerleaders.
3rd down and 8 from the 39. Under center once again is Isaac Linker. Handoff up the middle. And that is going to be to Angelo Abrego.
Abrego off the middle.
He gets it down to about the 36, gain of 3.
4th and
So that'll
5.
bring up a 4th down. 4th and 5 from the 36. See who else is in number 45. Gerardo Miranda in for the Mustangs. As is Sean McFarland on the left wideout. I formation for the Mustangs. Long count. See if he's trying to draw him offside. They finally snap it at the last instance, and Sterling Sharper on that left side down the 30, down inside the 25.
Sterling Sharp gets outside. Run out of bounds.
So nice
About the
run
20.
by Sterling Sharp as he takes it from the 36 down inside the 20.
And we have a penalty out here on, I don't know whether it's on offense or defense, but 84. Dawson Frick was downfield engaged with the cornerback, and so we'll see who was guilty there. Should be a first down regardless, because I'm sure it's a dead ball foul.
So we'll see what comes of that. Ref is looking over it. Calling personal foul on, must have been on Frick.
That's unfortunate to be up by the score, and I feel like you need to do something extra out there on the side. But I'm sure the coaches will visit with him about that. And maybe they're going the other way. No?
I'm not sure what they're doing. We'll see. Okay.
Okay, maybe it was offsetting. Nope,
Now they're going to mark it. So now it'll bring up about so is it going to be first down? Because it was dead ball, so they did get the first down. So it will be first down, Fort Morgan. So first and 10
The ball's going to be placed at the
from the 35.
There's first down and 10.
Dawson Frick once again lined up wide right. Hand off to Sharp once again around this right side as he gives ground. Not the thing they want to do. And he is going to be stopped to see what they forward is.
Back to about 42.
He goes backwards. He'll be back to about the 40, 43.
And when you're out there on JV, this is your chance to impress the coaches, so you want to do well. But I don't think you want to try and cut it back when you're that far outside.
About a second and 18. Hand it off once again.
George Perea on the carry.
And that was George Perea.
Right at the line of scrimmage.
Hognadel comes into the game along with Anthony Arroyo.
I'm thinking they might have gotten that one wrong. I think that was Forbes again. Breo's 12. And that was 21, was it
okay.
not?
Third down and
Did not see Perea out there.
Yeah.
I wonder where he is because he had that great run last week, but I don't see him down there on the field at all.
So we'll bring up a third down once again. Handoff over the left side to Arroyo as he cuts it down 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Anthony Arroyo into the end zone for the Mustangs as he takes it in from 42 yards out. Now puts the score up 55-7 with a PAT coming up as Franny Gonzalez heads out onto the field. So nice run by Anthony Arroyo. As they send out the first string PAT group. Snap back, ball down, kick is up.
Ready on the kick.
And it is good once again. So that puts the score at 56-7.
A nice little run there by Arroyo, and he just broke through. And they have so much speed. They have so many guys that can go the distance like that. Well, there's Perea down there. He's right there at the 45.
Okay.
Going toward the 50.
So 56-7. As Anthony Arroyo takes it in from 42 yards out. Since that was the first score of the second half, first Fort Morgan score of the second half is brought to you by Fort Morgan Federal Bank, a bank that is committed to their community and keeping banking simple. They are on the cutting edge of banking. Stop by 321 Ensign and see what options they have available. Morgan Federal Bank, there is a difference. So Hognadel with the ball teed up at the 40. 5 minutes left here in this game. And a kick down taken at the 15. Across the 20. And out across the 25. And that is Tanner Vaughn.
Tackled by Frick.
So we'll see a lot of new bodies out there on defense this time. Trying to get some of their names called. I see Sean McFarland, Bobby Tolson, number 9s, Luis Garcia. Those are the backs. 41, Andy Bain at the right outside linebacker, or I guess right cornerback. Dawson Frick, I see.
So 3 receivers right, 1 left. They send a man in motion. Snap back is going to be an end around to the left. Nice hustle to cut it back into the middle
The booty on the carry.
by Marquez, but they do get it out to the 30 for a gain of 5. So it'll be up a second and 5 from the 30.
Gain of 5, second down and 5.
They're stretching out their offense and trying a few different plays as well. Didn't see that in the first half.
I guess we've got about everybody called that's out there. Daniel Luna also out there for the Mustangs.
Wish we knew who 77 was. He's lined up at the left tackle position.
So shotgun formation once again, a handoff up the middle, and he is met behind the line of scrimmage. They're going to mark it right back at the 30, it looks like. So no gain, 3rd and 5 from the 30.
You know, Arvada's only had the one rush for 13 yards, and the rest of them, and that 5 earlier in this drive, the rest of them have been 1 or 2 or losses. So Fort Morgan really playing good run defense against Arvada tonight.
So 3rd and 5 for the Bulldogs. We're down to 2:53. Pass over out to the right flat is taken by DeAndre Gordon, as that is enough for the first down out to the 40. So 1st and 10, Arvada.
First down.
As they get it just outside the 40-yard line. Coleman in the shotgun formation once again, 3 receivers right, 1 left, with a back lined up behind him, and that is Jaden Mortimer, I believe. As he runs out here into the flat, and he escapes the pocket and goes down the right sideline, and he is finally going to be brought down and out of bounds on that far sideline.
Numbers down to the 42.
And it looks like maybe Sean McFarland ran him out of bounds.
Out of bounds. That's an Arvada first down.
At a 1st and 10 now, once again for the Bulldogs at about the 42-yard line.
On that play, he ran all the way to the left and then all the way back around to the right, and probably ran about 40, 50 yards to gain the 18, but it looks like maybe he's got a little bit of a limp on him now after that play.
So 3 receivers right, 1 left. Shotgun formation once again is snapped back. He has been flushed out to the right, and he has room to run. He cuts it back into the middle, and he finally goes down.
Coleman on the scramble.
And he will go down at the 27-yard line. So enough for the first down. So 1st and 10 from the 27 after that run by Coleman.
That young defensive line wants so bad to get a sack that probably they're not keeping their contain, and whoever's the spy for the quarterback draw is not paying
Snap
attention.
back once again. And this time he may go down, and he will go down. And that was
Jared Wilgenberg.
Jared Wilgenberg. Nice job for Wilgenberg. As 44.1 seconds, and Arvada calls a timeout.
The ball is caught at the 35.
Apparently they're trying to get into the end zone one more time.
2nd and 19.
2nd and 19 from the 35. Give you some more sponsors here. State Farm Insurance. When you're looking for someone to walk you through the insurance world, turn to the office of Greg Mullen in Brush. Home, auto, life, health. State Farm Insurance is here for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call today at 842. Arvada now lines up in their normal offensive set with 2 receivers left, 2 right, shotgun formation. Snap back. He is being flushed out to his left. Throws it across the field, and it's going to be incomplete now through the hands of Alejandro Avicia.
Coleman's pass intended for Avita falls incomplete.
So they're going to line up once again for 3rd down and 19 from the 35. After that incomplete pass. That's about time for one more play as we're down now under 20 seconds. High snap. He pulls it down. It's going to be down on the right sideline and left sideline, and through the hands DeAndre Gordon. And Arvada is going to use their second timeout.
Fourth down.
So that brings up a fourth down. Uh, 7.4 seconds left here in the game. Corf Continental, your GMC, Chevrolet, and Buick sales and service provider, pre-owned super centers, is ready to serve you in Sterling, Yuma, Julesburg, and Fort Morgan. Find them at www.corfautogroup.com. Northeastern, live in your world, learn in ours. For more information about Northeastern or classes available to you, go to www.njc.edu. So this should be the last play of the game. 7.4 seconds. Arvada with 4th and 19 from the 35, lined up in their shotgun formation. Coleman is being flushed out to the right, and he finally does go down. So nice pressure by the Fort Morgan defensive line as he goes down about the 45-yard line. So this contest comes to an end with the Fort Morgan Mustangs with a dominating effort here as they win 56-7 over the Arvada Bulldogs. We will be back with the post-game show on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan, this Fort Morgan Mustangs post-game show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at www.morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC here to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. So not much scoring here in the second half of play, as it was 49-7 at the end of the half, and only one touchdown in this second half, and that came from Anthony Arroyo. With about a minute and 7 seconds left in the, well, actually it was just the start of the fourth period. He takes it in from 42 yards out, and the PAT is good by Franny Gonzalez. So a game dominated here by the Mustangs once again. The coming up for the Mustangs next week will be, I believe it will be homecoming.
Yes, it will.
And that will be against Skyview at 7 o'clock. We will have that game here for you on B106 and B106.com. So please join us next Friday evening for homecoming and the festivities thereat. So I think Kevin's got some numbers for us.
Absolutely. I just have one number for Arvada, and that's their total offense. Fort Morgan's defense holds them to 118 yards and just the one passing touchdown there at the end of the first half, I believe.
Yep.
Fort Morgan, on the other hand, a lot of people carried the ball. A lot of people had success. Toby McBride, all in the first half, had one touchdown on 3 attempts for 56 yards. Tate Campbell, the 3 touchdowns on 5 carries for 83 yards. Dalen Knapp had 1 touchdown on 3 carries for 39 yards. Also passing, Knapp was 3 of 5 for 49 yards with 1 touchdown. That 1 touchdown going to Trey McBride, who is the only receiver to touch the ball. He has 3 catches for 49 yards and 1 touchdown. He also has the defensive touchdown on the second play of the game that kind of set the stage. The other runners, Arroyo carries 3 times for 53 yards and a touchdown. Rosales, 1 carry for 2 yards. Daniels, 1 carry for 11 yards. Hokenadel, 1 carry for 3 yards. Linker, 1 carry for 0 yards. Sharp, 4 carries for 16 yards. And Forbes, 4 carries for 31 yards. So the unofficial stats for Fort Morgan, they end the night 3 of 5 for 49 yards and a touchdown passing. 26 carries for 294 yards. That's about an 11-yard average, 6 touchdowns. Total offense for Fort Morgan tonight, 343 yards. So as we said at the opening of the game, total domination is what we expected, and that's pretty much what we got. looking ahead to homecoming, I don't see a lot of difference there. Skyview is probably going to be even weaker than Arvada was, if that's believable. But they lost to the team that Arvada won against, and so you're right. It's an exciting time for the kids. They've already decorated their halls, starting to get that competition for the Spirit Stick and which class is going to win that. I'm sure they're going to have all sorts of fun activities as the week goes by, and culminating with the football game and then the dance Saturday night. So a lot of fun for Fort Morgan kids, and some good football for us to enjoy next week.
That's for sure. We have a player of the game to choose here, and that Fort Morgan Mustang player of the game is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center, with 3 locations to serve you better. Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan, your headquarters for all your home, farm, and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed. And I think tonight we will go with Dalen Knapp as our player of the game, as he takes it in for 1 touchdown and also passes for another. And
I think he just does a really good job of managing the team. You hear that somewhat, like who's the Baltimore quarterback. They talk about how he's not supposed to be so flashy, but just manage the game and not cause the turnovers. And Knapp did some good things. He threw well today, and he ran well. And, he got the ball to the horses who carried him the rest of the way. So a really good job, I think, by him. And, good job by all the players. There was a lot of good players. And, I guess my thinking is just that's a good choice for tonight for him. And we'll see who gets it next week, Coach.
That's right. So on that note, I think we will bring this broadcast to a close. And the sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustangs football tonight has been Julie Garcia. For Kevin Rohde, I'm Brian Nickel. Once again, the final score tonight, Fort Morgan 56, Arvada 7. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Good night, everybody.